Now, the last team of the Southeast Division, and a team who a bit weird, isn't it? Just a bit weird. Obviously, it's the Washington Wizards. Bradley Beal being one of the most sought after players in this current NBA, and well, but John Wall's back. So, what do you do if you're the Wizards? What do you do?
Well, he's coming off a torn Achilles. Like, is he going to be the John Wall that we've known from like the past 10 years? Probably not. But he's probably still going to be better than them playing Ish Smith or Shabazz Napier. So it's going to be an improvement.
Why you coming for Shabazz Napier like that? Ish Smith was okay, but Shabazz got some talent.
Maybe. But I think they should give him one more year. See how Beal and Wall play together. And with Beal, I've seen conflicting reports, like some saying he wants to stay, others saying he's got one more year left and he wants to go. So, like, do you cash in on it now? Because you can get a massive package from him, because his trade value will never be higher than where it is right now. Because if you wait till next season, that's 1 year left off his contract. He's 1 year older. And the chances of him having another 30-point per game season is quite slim. So if you're ever going to trade him, you probably have to do it now.
Yeah, like, I've always been, well, since Russ and PG left, I've kind of always been like, Beal to OKC, make it happen. But now we're in the rebuild. I don't want anything to do with it. Like, it wouldn't make any sense to like try and sign Bradley Beal. Like we were talking about the other day, and what we'd have to give up. And I'm just like, yeah, I'd like Bradley Beal, but I'd also like I'd like to have Brandon Boston and Cade Cunningham next season. So it's like, yeah. Well, like, yeah, like you were saying with the conflicting reports. Yeah, some people are saying that Bradley Beal wants to finish his career in Washington. Some people are saying he wants out. He can't stand it there. I don't know what anybody's talking about. But and like running it back another year and letting him play a year with Wall, and then you going into an off season where it's pretty much a stacked free agency, which is going to take the interest away from Bradley Beal. Obviously, he's a different player to the Kawhis and the Giannis's that are up for grabs, but I feel like more players would be keen to take like a Giannis and want to make trades happen and then go for Beal.
Teams are preparing for that free agency, and there's going to be a lot of teams there that are going to try and get Giannis, but only one team can get him. So there's going to be a lot of teams there who maybe might target the three best players, and they might miss out on all of them. So all of a sudden, they've cleared their roster for cap space, and they've got nothing to show for it. So maybe the Wizards might be able to, pry upon those desperate teams who, they might be a team desperate enough to give them a lot of stuff back, just because they miss out on all the star signings.
I call that the Knicks strategy.
Well,
put all your eggs in one basket. Put all your eggs in one basket, but realize that the basket has no bottom, and they all just fall straight through. And someone else is picking them up at the bottom. That's the Knicks strategy. Man. Keep it going, New York. Keep it going. Sorry, so much, bro. But yeah, Washington. Like, what do you do? Another player that we spoke a lot about when we were talking about Philly. Bertans. What do you do with Bertans? Do you just try and run it back with Wall, Beal, and Bertans and see how far you can take them? Or
I think,
do you blow it up?
Run it back for one more year. Bertans is probably, I think he said he wants to stay. He's going to get paid a lot of money. They still got Rui Hachimura, Thomas Bryant, Mo Wagner, Troy Brown. They've got a good team. Jerome Robinson was good from last season. So I think they could make the playoffs if they bring it back and just play. They got a decent coach in Scott Brooks. I think they could definitely make the playoffs.
And they've also got a decent pick, the 9th pick, where you're saying about their team, they've got John Wall, good point guard. We don't know how good he'll be coming back, but we know what he's done in his career, good enough. Bradley Beal, enough said. Troy Brown, who has shown glimpses of being a great NBA player, good NBA player.
I like him.
Davis Bertans came off the bench majority of last season, but
they used to pick on Hachimura last year. Power forward.
And see how well Hachimura progresses, and then center, like you said, Mo Wagner's there.
Can I just stop you there? A Shams bomb. the Hornets have emerged as a potential suitor for Russell Westbrook.
Shambon during the podcast.
They're
Yes.
listening to us.
We called it. We called it. Who would have thought Sham listens live? No one else listens live,
Sham's
but
on their phone.
Sham's in my phone. He's in there. Well, yeah. Yeah, so well done, Shams. Sham. See, I've been saying it for weeks. Superior when it comes to basketball knowledge.
Yeah.
And we've
We're
just done it
step ahead.
live. We've done it
Yeah.
live. That's proof of what we know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I did see my phone flash, but I didn't look, and then you were ringing the bomb alarm. Yeah, so you're looking at that team that I just named out: the Wall, Beal, Brown, Bertons or Hachimura, and then Mo Wagner. With like the weak spot, you would say there is depending on how much they like Hachimura at power forward or center, and you've got a couple of centers in this draft, and like depending on how many teams like a Kongwu, I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah.
That one. He could fall to the 9th.
If he falls to 9, that's a no-brainer. They've got to take him there.
But you've also got Daniel Oturu.
9 is way too early for him.
It is, but could be worth a risk. Or do you just go for best?
If a Kongwu isn't there at 9, maybe they could trade it. But personally, I would stay at 9 and take the best point guard. Because John Wall, in his 30s, we don't know how good he's going to be. And with his point guard class, Kyril Lewis might be there. And he's fantastic.
Yeah.
He'd be a fantastic backup to eventually become the starting point guard. Personally, if you can transition from Wall to another good young point guard, I think that's more reason for Beal for him to want to stay. I think Thomas Bryant and Mo Wagner, they're serviceable. Like, they're good enough. Like, I don't think you should really take a center in the top 10 unless they're a Joel Embiid or Karl-Anthony Towns, because you can always find a shot blocking, rebounding center in free agency for like $2 million.
Yeah, and free agency this season is kind of full of like all right. So like Corey Stein, he probably want a decent amount, but he's out there. Like there's a good amount of centers that you could just get in that'll be better than Mo Wagner. But yeah, Wizards could be a good season for you guys. It just depends if John Wall comes back to like any shades of how good he was. Yeah. Shout out to Washington. Have a good season, guys. Could be a good one. It could be the farewell tour of John Wall and Bradley Beal, because it could be this final year. Then it all blows up next year. But Washington, a bit like OKC, like good run this season, blow it up for a nice free agency next season. Options are there.